Welcome back to Living 757. Hampton Roads is full of history, and we love to bring attention to the history that is less spoken about. To help us do that, we want to welcome back friend of the show, Brian Bullock.
Hey.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it was short notice.
Good to see you all. It's always good to be here with you all.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you again. Now, for any viewers who don't know, what is the true history behind Juneteenth?
So Juneteenth celebrates when the enslaved in Galveston, Texas, were notified that slavery had ended, which is in June of 1865. Now, the emancipation was, we have to notice that the Emancipation Proclamation actually went into effect January 1st, but some parts of the Deep South, Southwest didn't get the word. And it took all that time for the word to get to some parts of the South. And Juneteenth specifically is tied to Galveston, Texas.
And 6 months, that's a really long time for people not to know. Why is it so important that we learn about it now?
You know, it's really a important part of our history. African Americans, obviously Black people in America, but all of America, to really understand and to reflect, you know, on the significance of that time. I do want to mention in Virginia, Virginia was actually celebrating a form of Juneteenth called Emancipation Day a little earlier in the year.
Wow, yeah, because that was going to be my question. You know, how did Virginians celebrate that, and what's the difference between then and now? Like, what changes have you noticed, Brian, since this became a federal holiday?
Yes, you know, other than all of the wonderful celebrations that happen across Virginia, across the United States, you know, gospel concerts and just honoring Black history, African American history, there's this new sense of pride of our history, not just slavery and our enslaved forefathers, but just the deep, rich contributions to this country. And it's also a time for people to just really reflect on their own family history. So it really brings attention to that, and I absolutely love it. All of the celebrations, I'm always involved with a gospel concert in Richmond every Juneteenth. It's just a wonderful, wonderful celebration.
Now, I want to go back to the other part of Quincy's question. How did Virginians celebrate back in the day?
Yeah.
So Virginia actually, because Virginia obviously is on the East Coast, the word was much quicker. And so in like April, early parts of the year, it was just like the Juneteenth celebrations now with reflections and celebrating and food, but it was just earlier in the year. So those celebrations earlier in the year started to kind of subside and go away. And as that happened, Juneteenth was picked up, you know, more widely. So now it's more of a uniform holiday.
Yeah, you know, and Brian, you have so much knowledge and so many resources, especially with your show, Hidden History. So you're a producer and the host of that show. You got any projects that's coming up that we should be on the lookout for?
Yes, thank you for asking. Actually, this past Thursday, the newest episode of Hidden History, it's about Desmond T. Doss, who was a conscientious, easy for me to say, conscientious objector during World War II. And it's an incredible story about how he was able to be this hero. The movie Hacksaw Ridge is actually based on his life.
Oh wow!
So really excited about this episode.
Yeah, so
That's
cool.
That's amazing.
Bro. Yeah.
Now, Brian, I have to commend you because I always hated history in school, but I always loved talking to you because you always shine the light on all of these parts of history that we were never taught in school.
Yeah, it's almost like a calming voice hearing them talk, so it's easy to digest. And
No, I just find it so interesting to learn about all these things that were never taught, that they were just kind of like erased, like they never happened.
Yeah.
But they did happen, and I think it's important to talk about them. So thank you for making your show, and thank you for making time to come talk to us about all this stuff.
Yeah, thanks again, Brian.
Thank you so much. Good to see you all. Love you all. See you soon.
We love you too.
All right, my man.